Welcome. Today, we're exploring harmony in nature and existence, a topic that connects science, philosophy, and the world around us. We'll dive into ideas that reveal how everything fits together, balancing forces and patterns. This is Unit 4, and it's all about understanding the natural rhythms that shape life itself. Let's get started. Nature isn't just a bunch of separate things sitting side by side. It's a finely tuned system where every part plays a role and supports the others. Plants, animals, microbes, mountains, rivers, and people, all connected. For millions of years, nature has kept its balance through cooperation, mutual support, recycling, and self-regulation. But humans are unique. We have the power to disrupt this balance. That's why understanding nature is key to living in harmony with it. Harmony is about balance and connection. It means every part of nature works together, each playing its role in the bigger picture. Nothing exists in isolation. Every organism contributes to the whole, supporting and depending on others. This cooperation keeps ecosystems alive and thriving. In nature, harmony is the invisible thread that ties everything together, ensuring life continues in a delicate, yet resilient balance. Let's look at a simple example, the tree. A tree gives us oxygen to breathe, fruits to eat, shade to cool us down, wood for building, and shelter for birds. But it's not just a one-way street. Birds spread the tree's seeds, animals help fertilize the soil, and microorganisms break down fallen leaves. It's a cycle where everyone benefits, showing how interconnected life really is. This example helps us understand the power of mutual support in nature. Rivers give us so much more than just water. They provide irrigation for crops, drinking water for communities, and habitats for countless plants and animals. This flow of life supports animals, which in turn support humans. Our agriculture relies on these natural systems, and ultimately, our entire economy depends on the health of rivers. Everything is connected. Rivers are truly the lifeblood of our world. Everything we're looking at here is connected. Nothing stands alone. Each part influences the others, creating a web of relationships. This interconnectedness means we can't isolate one element without considering its impact on the whole system. It's a reminder that to understand the bigger picture, we have to see how every piece fits and works together. Let's explore a key idea from universal human values, that nature is made up of 4 distinct orders. These 4 orders help us understand the complex layers and systems that make up the natural world. By recognizing these different levels, we can see how everything connects and interacts, giving us a clearer picture of our place within nature's grand design. This framework sets the stage for deeper insights into how we relate to the environment around us. Let's talk about the material order, the physical world around us. This includes soil, water, air, mountains, minerals, metals, and oceans. These things exist physically, but they don't grow or change by themselves. They form the foundation that supports everything else, plants, animals, and ultimately us. Without this material order, life as we know it wouldn't exist. No plants, no animals, no humans. It's the essential base for all other orders to build upon. Let's take a closer look at plants, what they include and what makes them tick. We're talking trees, flowers, crops, grass, and entire forests. They all share key characteristics: growth, reproduction, and photosynthesis. That last one is crucial. It's how plants convert sunlight into food, powering life on Earth. This process is at the heart of what we call the pranic order, the natural flow of energy that sustains plants, and by extension, all living things. Let's look at what forests do for us. They produce vital resources: oxygen, food, medicines, and timber. These are essentials we often take for granted. But forests don't just give, they also protect. They prevent soil erosion, keeping the earth stable and fertile. They help slow down global warming by storing carbon. In short, forests contribute in countless ways, supporting life, health, and the planet's balance. They're truly indispensable. Now let's look at the different groups of animals: birds, fish, insects, mammals, and reptiles. Each of these has unique characteristics, like how they move, their feelings, and survival instincts. Animals play a vital role in nature. They help with pollination, spread seeds, and keep the food chain balanced. Understanding these groups and their roles helps us see how interconnected life really is. This is what we call the animal order. Let's look at a simple but powerful chain: how bees lead us to food. Bees start the process by pollinating flowers. That pollination helps flowers turn into fruits. And those fruits, in turn, feed us humans. It's a clear example of how nature's small actions ripple out to impact our daily lives. This chain shows the vital role bees play, far beyond just making honey. This slide explores what sets humans apart, our unique qualities like knowledge, understanding, imagination, values, and responsibility. Unlike animals, we have the ability to make choices. We can protect nature, or we can destroy it. Because of this power to choose, our responsibility becomes the highest. It's a reminder that with our capabilities comes a profound duty to act wisely and care for the world around us. This idea leads us into the concept of human order. Here's a simple table that breaks down the different orders of life and their contributions to our environment. Starting with material, things like water, soil, and air, these provide the essential resources we all depend on. Then we have plants, such as trees and crops, which give us food and oxygen. Animals, including birds and fish, play key roles in pollination and maintaining the food chain. Finally, humans contribute by protecting these systems and ensuring their proper use. This summary helps us see the interconnected roles in nature. We're looking at how each order depends on the others. Nothing stands alone. Everything is connected, intertwined. This idea of interconnectedness shows us that each part influences the whole, and the whole shapes each part in return. Understanding this web of relationships helps us see the bigger picture, where every order plays a role in creating balance and meaning. It's a reminder that isolation is an illusion. Everything exists in connection. Plants depend on a few essential materials to thrive. They need water, soil, minerals, and sunlight, each playing a critical role in their growth. Without this material order, plants simply can't survive. This slide highlights the detailed relationship between these elements, showing how everything must be in balance for life to flourish. It's a simple but powerful reminder of nature's intricate design. Let's look at how energy and resources move from plants to animals. Animals depend on plants for food, oxygen, and shelter. These basics keep them alive. For example, a cow eats grass to get its nutrients, while a bird might live in the trees for protection and a place to rest. This simple exchange is the foundation of many ecosystems, showing how plants support animal life in multiple ways. Let's look at the vital role animals play in supporting plants. Animals help with pollination, carrying pollen from flower to flower. They also assist in seed dispersal, moving seeds to new places where plants can grow. Plus, animals contribute natural fertilizer, enriching the soil. Take the bee, for example. It collects pollen, which leads to pollination. That pollination helps flowers develop into fruit. It's a simple chain, but one that keeps ecosystems thriving. Plants are the foundation of so much in our lives. They give us food to eat, oxygen to breathe, medicines that heal, and even the materials for furniture we use every day. Without plants, none of these essentials would exist. They're not just background, they're the starting point for human survival and comfort. Today, we're exploring how deeply connected we are to the plant world and why that matters. Animals have been essential to human life in many ways. They provide us with milk and eggs, two key sources of nutrition. Wool comes from animals too, giving us warmth and comfort. In some parts of the world, animals are still vital for transportation, helping people move goods and travel. This connection between animals and humans shows how deeply intertwined our lives have always been. We're looking at the relationship between humans and nature, a delicate balance that depends on how we act. We should plant trees, save water, protect wildlife, and reduce pollution. These simple actions keep the system healthy. But if we misuse nature, if we take more than we give, the whole system becomes unbalanced. It's a reminder our choices matter, not just for us, but for the planet we all share. What we're looking at here is a continuous cycle, a loop that keeps moving without end. This kind of cycle helps us understand processes that repeat, evolve, and build on themselves over time. Each step flows naturally into the next, creating momentum and allowing for constant improvement. It's a powerful way to think about growth, learning, and adaptation, because nothing stays static, and everything feeds back into what comes next. Mutual fulfillment is about balance. It means every order, every action, supports the others while still achieving its own goal. No one exists just for themselves. We're all connected, each contributing to a greater whole. When we work this way, everyone benefits and the system thrives. It's a simple idea, but powerful. Mutual fulfillment keeps everything moving forward together. Let's look at this simple cycle in nature. A tree grows and provides fruits. Humans eat those fruits, but they don't keep the seeds, they throw them away. Those seeds then grow into new trees. Birds find shelter in these trees, and the whole environment benefits. It's a perfect example of how everything is connected, and in this cycle, everyone, from the tree to the birds to us, finds fulfillment. Nature's way of giving and receiving in balance. Let's look at a simple cycle that connects a cow to the food we eat. It starts with the cow producing milk, which humans consume. The cow eats food and in turn produces dung. That dung isn't waste, it becomes organic fertilizer. This fertilizer helps plants grow, and those plants feed the cow again. It's a continuous loop, showing how nature and agriculture work hand in hand to keep the cycle going. Nature has a remarkable way of working. It wastes nothing. Every element, every resource, gets recycled in some form. This slide highlights that natural cycle, showing us how nothing truly goes to waste. It's a powerful reminder that recyclability isn't just a human goal, it's built into the very fabric of the world around us. Let's keep that in mind as we explore sustainable solutions. Water is always on the move. It never stops circulating. This constant flow is what we call the water cycle. It's a natural process that moves water through the air, across the land, and back again. Understanding this cycle helps us see how water sustains life and shapes our environment every single day. Let's talk about continuous recycling within the carbon cycle. This process is nature's way of keeping carbon moving through the environment, from the air, into plants, animals, soil, and back again. It's a constant loop, a balance that supports life on Earth. Understanding this cycle helps us see how carbon flows and why it's so important to maintain that flow for a healthy planet. Let's take a look at the nitrogen cycle, a vital process that keeps ecosystems thriving. It starts in the atmosphere, where nitrogen is abundant but not directly usable by most life forms. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria step in, converting it into a form plants can absorb. Plants then pass nitrogen along to animals when they're eaten. When animals and plants die, decomposition returns nitrogen to the soil, and eventually it cycles back into the atmosphere. It's a continuous loop, essential for life on Earth. Let's look at how nature recycles everything, starting with dead plants. These plants break down, feeding bacteria. The bacteria then release nutrients back into the soil. This enriched soil supports new plants, and the cycle begins again. Nothing ever truly goes to waste. It's all part of decomposition, a natural process that keeps ecosystems healthy and thriving. Nature has a way of turning what seems like waste into something valuable. Dry leaves break down and become rich compost. Dead animals return nutrients to the soil. Water evaporates, then falls again as rain, keeping the cycle going. Oxygen and carbon dioxide flow back and forth without end. This is the essence of how nature works. Waste isn't waste at all. It's a resource, constantly recycled and reused. These examples show us the power of recyclability in the natural world. We're the ones creating most of the waste that challenges our planet: plastic, electronic, chemical, even nuclear waste. These aren't easy to recycle. Because of this, environmental problems start piling up. This slide highlights how our failure to properly recycle leads to serious consequences. It's a reminder that human actions play a major role in the waste crisis we face today. Nature has an incredible way of keeping itself in balance, all on its own. There's no need for a central controller or outside force telling it what to do. This process is called self-regulation. It's how ecosystems, weather patterns, and even our bodies manage to stay stable, adapting to changes without missing a beat. Understanding this helps us see the power of natural systems and the wisdom they hold. Our bodies are amazing at keeping temperature just right. When we get too hot, we start sweating, that cools us down. If we get cold, we shiver, muscles contracting to generate heat. These responses help maintain a stable body temperature, no matter what the weather throws at us. It's a simple, automatic system that keeps us comfortable and alive. Let's look at how populations balance each other in nature. When the number of rabbits goes up, foxes have more food, so their numbers increase too. As more foxes hunt rabbits, the rabbit population starts to drop. Eventually, this brings things back into balance. Fewer rabbits means fewer foxes, and the cycle begins again. It's a natural rhythm that keeps ecosystems stable over time. Let's take a moment to look at the natural cycle in a forest ecosystem. Leaves fall from the trees, landing softly on the ground. Over time, they decompose, breaking down into rich organic matter. This process boosts the soil's fertility, making it more nutrient-rich. And with better soil, new plants can take root and grow, continuing the cycle of life in the forest. It's a beautiful, self-sustaining system, one that keeps the forest thriving year after year. Wetlands act like nature's own water treatment plants. They filter out dirt, chemicals, and harmful microorganisms, cleaning the water as it passes through. This natural purification process helps keep our ecosystems healthy and supports the water we rely on every day. Understanding how wetlands do this is key to appreciating their vital role in environmental protection. Let's look at the natural cycle that keeps our planet breathing. Plants produce oxygen, which humans need to survive. In turn, humans consume that oxygen and produce carbon dioxide. Plants then take in that carbon dioxide to keep growing. It's a perfect balance, a continuous exchange that sustains life. This oxygen-carbon balance is the foundation of our ecosystem, showing how interconnected we really are with the natural world. Let's talk about continuous balance, the core of self-regulation. It's not a one-time fix or a single moment of control. Instead, it's an ongoing process, a dynamic dance between our impulses and our goals. We're constantly adjusting, checking in with ourselves, and making small course corrections. This balance keeps us moving forward, even when distractions or challenges arise. It's the steady rhythm that helps us stay aligned with what matters most. When systems lack self-regulation, everything starts to unravel. The climate becomes unstable, throwing weather patterns out of balance. Food chains break down, leaving species without the support they need. Some species disappear entirely, extinct. And when enough pieces fall apart, the whole ecosystem collapses. That's why self-regulation is so important. It's the invisible hand keeping nature in check, maintaining balance, and ensuring life can thrive over time. Without it, everything is at risk. We have a vital role in supporting nature. It's not just about what we take, but what we give back. Planting trees helps restore balance. Conserving water ensures this precious resource lasts. Reducing pollution keeps our air and soil clean. Protecting forests preserves habitats and biodiversity. Using renewable energy cuts down on harmful emissions. Practicing sustainable agriculture feeds us without draining the earth. And following the reduce, reuse, recycle mantra minimizes waste. Together, these actions show how humans can be true stewards of the planet. Let's look at a simple example that shows how one change can ripple through a whole system. We start with the farmer, who chooses organic farming methods. That leads to healthy soil, rich, alive, and full of nutrients. Healthy soil grows healthy crops, which in turn nourish healthy humans. It's a clear chain of cause and effect, showing how thoughtful choices on the ground impact our well-being. This example brings the idea to life. It's real, tangible, and easy to follow. Let's look at a simple example that shows how one action leads to many positive outcomes. Planting trees increases the amount of oxygen in the air. More oxygen means less pollution overall. With cleaner air, the climate stays healthier. And when the climate is healthy, society benefits too. People live better, healthier lives. It's a clear chain reaction, showing how small steps can create big change. Let's look at a practical example of how rainwater harvesting can create a positive chain reaction. First, collecting rainwater helps recharge groundwater supplies. As groundwater levels rise, water availability increases overall. With more water on hand, agriculture benefits, crops grow better, and farming becomes more sustainable. It's a simple sequence, but one that shows how small actions can lead to big improvements in our environment and food systems. Living in harmony with nature brings a host of advantages that touch every part of our lives. It means environmental balance, keeping ecosystems healthy and resilient. It supports sustainable development, so we meet today's needs without stealing from the future. We see better health, thanks to cleaner air and water. Conservation of biodiversity protects the rich variety of life that sustains us. Climate stability helps us avoid extreme weather. Food security ensures everyone has enough to eat. All of this leads to a better quality of life and peaceful coexistence with the world around us. Let's explore some key concepts that help us understand nature's complex web. Harmony is about balance and cooperation, how everything works together seamlessly. Material order refers to the basic elements: soil, water, air, and minerals. Then we have plant order, which includes trees and vegetation, followed by animal order, birds, insects, and other creatures. Human order brings in our unique role with understanding and responsibility. Interconnectedness shows how each part depends on the others. Mutual fulfillment means every order supports and enriches the rest. Recyclability highlights nature's cycles of reuse, and self-regulation is nature's way of keeping balance all on its own. One of the key ideas in universal human values is understanding what existence really means. Most of us think of existence as just living things, humans, animals, plants. But UHV takes a broader view. It shows us that everything in the universe is connected, forming one integrated whole. Nothing exists in isolation. Everything coexists. This simple but powerful idea that existence equals coexistence reminds us we're all part of the same bigger picture. Let's start by defining existence. Existence means everything that's out there in the universe, all that we can see, touch, or even imagine. That includes us, human beings, along with animals and plants. It covers rivers, mountains, air, water, and the earth beneath our feet. It stretches to the sun, stars, galaxies, and the vastness of space itself. In short, everything you can think of, everything you are a part of, is existence. Here, we have a diagram that brings together the key concepts we've been exploring. It's a visual map that helps us see how everything connects: the relationships, the flow, the structure. Diagrams like this make complex ideas easier to grasp, giving us a clear overview before we dive deeper. Keep this image in mind as we move forward. It's the framework that supports everything else in today's discussion. Coexistence means existing together. It reminds us that nothing stands alone, everything is connected. Each part supports the others, creating a network of relationships. When we think about coexistence, we're thinking about how different elements rely on one another to thrive. It's a simple idea, but a powerful one. Together, we create balance and harmony. Let's think about a tree for a moment. A tree needs soil, water, air, and sunlight to thrive. Birds depend on the tree for shelter and food. Humans rely on it for oxygen and fruits. Animals seek shade beneath its branches. So one tree supports many lives all at once. This is coexistence, different units living together in harmony, constantly interacting and supporting one another. It's a powerful example of balance in nature. Everything is connected. That's the simple truth this diagram shows us. Nothing stands alone, every part links to another, creating a web of relationships. When we see the whole picture, we understand how each piece influences the rest. It's a reminder that in any system, every element matters, and together, they shape the outcome. Let's keep this interconnectedness in mind as we move forward. According to UHV, nothing exists in isolation. Every unit, whether it's a person, a system, or an idea, depends on others. It supports others, and it interacts with others. This is a fundamental principle. It reminds us that connection and interdependence are at the heart of how things work. Nothing stands alone. Everything is part of a larger, dynamic web. Every unit in a system is constantly interacting with others. These connections keep everything in balance, maintaining harmony. Take plants and humans, for example. Plants produce oxygen, which humans breathe in. Then, humans release carbon dioxide, which plants absorb. This cycle keeps going, each part relying on the other. It's a perfect example of mutually interacting units working together, sustaining life. Let's look at how water moves through nature in a continuous cycle. It starts as rain, which nourishes the soil and feeds plants. Those plants become food for animals, and animals, in turn, support humans. But it doesn't stop there. Humans interact with nature, influencing the cycle all over again. This ongoing flow shows how everything is connected, each step depending on the one before it, creating a balanced system that sustains life. This example highlights that continuous interaction. Here, we have a diagram that brings the ideas we've discussed into a clear visual form. It helps us see how the pieces connect, the flow, the relationships, the key points standing out. Diagrams like this are powerful because they turn complex information into something immediate and understandable. Let's take a moment to explore how this visual ties everything together before we move on. Interaction is all about exchange, the give and take of energy, matter, support, or influence between two or more parts. Think of a river. It supplies water to agriculture, which then produces food. That food supports human survival. Each step depends on the one before it. This chain shows how interaction connects different units, creating a flow that sustains life and systems around us. Understanding this helps us see the bigger picture in any complex relationship. Let's look at a simple but powerful chain, starting with the bee. Bees pollinate flowers, which is crucial for plants to produce fruits. Those fruits then feed humans. It's a clear cycle, showing how interconnected we are with nature. Without one link, the whole chain weakens. This reminds us how important every part of the ecosystem really is. When we think about interaction, it's not just a one-off event. It's continuous, always flowing, always evolving. It's natural, like a conversation that feels effortless. Interaction is mutual, both sides give and take. It's cooperative, working together toward a shared goal. And importantly, it's beneficial, creating value for everyone involved. These are the key characteristics that define meaningful interaction. One unique idea in ultra-high vacuum is the concept of all-pervasive space. This means space isn't empty or void. It's everywhere, all around us. It holds everything together and makes room for every single unit, no matter how small. In other words, space is the all-encompassing reality where every unit lives and interacts. It's not just a backdrop, but an active, ever-present part of the system. Space is a concept that feels boundless, infinite, stretching beyond what we can see or measure. It's continuous, with no gaps or edges, existing everywhere at once. Unlike things that grow or shrink, space itself doesn't increase or decrease. Instead, it simply accommodates everything within it, holding all matter and energy without changing. These are the fundamental characteristics that define how we understand space in the universe. Here, we have a diagram that brings the concepts we've discussed into a clear visual form. It helps us see how the pieces connect, interact, and support each other. Diagrams like this are powerful. They turn complex ideas into something we can grasp at a glance. Let's take a moment to explore the relationships it shows and how they guide us toward our goal. Let's think about space in a simple way. A fish lives in water, right? Water surrounds it completely. Now, water itself exists in space. Earth, where we live, also exists in space. Even our entire galaxy is part of space. So everything we know, every object, every place, is contained within space. This example helps us see how space is the ultimate container for all things. Space is more than just emptiness. It's what holds everything together. It gives units room to breathe, to connect, and to relate. Without space, elements would clash, overlap, or get lost. So understanding how space works with units is key. It shapes how we organize, how we prioritize, and how we create harmony in any design or system. Space accommodates all. It's the silent partner that makes everything fit. Let's take a moment to think about existence, as defined by UHV. At its core, existence breaks down into two essential parts, space and units. Space gives us the backdrop, the stage where everything happens. Units are the individual elements that occupy that space. Together, they form the foundation of what it means to exist. It's a simple equation, but it captures a profound idea about how everything is structured. When we talk about units, we're looking at more than just objects. Material units, the physical things around us. Living units, plants, animals, all forms of life. And of course, human beings who bring their own complexity. Space isn't just empty, it accommodates all these units. What's key here is how these units interact with each other. This dynamic relationship, this mutual presence, is what we call coexistence. It's the foundation of how spaces come alive. Here, we're introducing the formula, the core equation or method that drives everything we've been discussing. This is where the theory meets practice. Understanding this formula helps us break down complex ideas into manageable parts. It's the key to unlocking the next steps, making the abstract concrete, and giving us a clear path forward. Let's dive into how this formula works and why it matters. Holistic means seeing the whole picture, not just isolated parts. It's about shifting our focus from only humans to a broader view, where humans, animals, plants, nature, society, and the environment are all connected. We start to see them as one family, intertwined and interdependent. This kind of holistic perception helps us understand the bigger story, and it changes how we relate to the world around us. It's a vital shift in perspective. Instead of just cutting down a tree for quick gain, holistic thinking pushes us to ask deeper questions. Will birds lose their homes? Will oxygen levels drop? Could rainfall patterns change? Might soil erosion get worse? It's about looking beyond the obvious, considering the entire system and how every part connects. This approach helps us make smarter, more sustainable choices. Let's explore an example that brings this idea to life. Here, we have a diagram that brings everything we've discussed into a clear visual form. It helps us see how the pieces connect, the flow, the relationships, the key points all mapped out. Diagrams like this are powerful because they turn complex ideas into something we can grasp at a glance. Let's take a moment to explore how this visual ties the whole concept together. Let's explore harmony at different levels of existence, starting with the most fundamental, harmony in self. This is where balance begins, within our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. When we find peace inside, it sets the foundation for everything else. Harmony here means aligning who we are with what we do, creating a sense of inner calm that radiates outward. It's the first step on a journey toward greater connection and understanding. Now, let's explore the idea of harmony within the family, what we call level 2. This is where relationships flow smoothly, where understanding and respect create a sense of balance. It's not about perfection, but about finding ways to connect, support, and grow together. Harmony here sets the foundation for stronger bonds and healthier communication, making the family a place where everyone feels valued and heard. At level 3, we're looking at harmony in society. This is where individual actions and shared values come together to create a balanced, peaceful community. It's about more than just coexistence. It's about connection, understanding, and mutual respect. When harmony takes hold, society functions smoothly and people thrive together. This level reminds us that true progress depends on how well we live with one another. At level 4, we see harmony in nature, a beautiful balance where every element supports the others. Nothing stands alone. Each part plays a role, creating a system that's stable and resilient. This interconnectedness is what keeps ecosystems thriving, and it's a powerful reminder that collaboration and mutual support are key, whether in nature or in our own lives. At level 5, we reach harmony in existence. Everything coexists, not in isolation but together. They share space, each element influencing the other. It's a dynamic balance where mutual interaction shapes the whole. This isn't just about being side by side, it's about connection, flow, and living in sync. That's the essence of true harmony. This diagram shows a progression, a journey from existence itself, moving through space, then material order, and on to plant order. From there, it advances to animal order, then human order, and finally reaches universal harmony. Each step builds on the last, illustrating how complexity and organization grow, leading us toward a greater, interconnected whole. It's a way to understand how everything fits together, from the simplest elements to the vast harmony of the universe. We're looking at 4 interconnected orders that shape our environment and lives. First, the material order: air, water, soil. These are the physical resources everything depends on. Then, the plant order: trees and crops, which produce food and oxygen, sustaining life. Next, the animal order: birds and fish, plays a key role in keeping ecosystems balanced. Finally, the human order, us, brings understanding, responsibility, and protection. Together, These four orders work in harmony to support our world. We're looking at a continuous cycle, a system where every order supports the next. It's about mutual fulfillment, where each action creates benefits that ripple through the whole process. When one part succeeds, it helps others succeed too. This example shows how interconnected efforts build momentum, driving the entire cycle forward. It's not just a chain reaction, it's a network of support, where everyone gains as the cycle keeps turning. Let's follow the journey of rain. It falls, then gets stored as water. That stored water supports agriculture, which in turn produces our food. And when we have reliable food, we build a healthy society. One real-life example of this cycle is rainwater harvesting. By capturing and storing rain, communities can boost their agriculture and improve overall well-being. It's a simple idea, but it creates a powerful chain of benefits. Let's look at how trees connect to our daily lives. Trees help capture rainfall, which then replenishes water sources. That water supports agriculture, the foundation of the food we eat. Ultimately, this chain sustains human life. It's a simple flow, but it shows how forests are deeply linked to our survival and well-being. Without healthy trees, this whole system starts to unravel. Let's look at the journey of the honeybee, a tiny but mighty player in our ecosystem. It starts with a bee, moving on to pollination, which helps flowers bloom. Those flowers then turn into fruits, providing food that eventually reaches us, humans. This simple chain shows how interconnected we are with nature, and why protecting bees means protecting our own food supply. It's a powerful example of how one small creature supports life on a much bigger scale. When we focus only on ourselves, without thinking about the bigger picture, the impact can be severe. We might cut down forests, pollute rivers, waste precious water, and destroy wildlife habitats. These actions don't just affect nature, they lead to serious consequences like climate change, floods, droughts, and species extinction. Pollution rises and health problems follow. This slide reminds us why holistic thinking is crucial, because ignoring the whole system creates problems that affect us all. When we embrace a holistic perception, the benefits ripple across every part of our lives. It leads to better decision-making, where we see the bigger picture, not just isolated parts. It supports environmental protection and sustainable development, ensuring we care for our planet and future generations. It fosters healthy relationships and peaceful societies, grounded in understanding and respect. It helps maintain a balanced ecosystem and ultimately long-term prosperity. All of this contributes to universal harmony, a world where everything works together in sync. As we wrap up, it's clear that isolated thinking focuses narrowly on self-interest and short-term wins, often leading to conflict and exploitation. Holistic thinking, on the other hand, embraces everyone's well-being, values long-term harmony, and seeks mutual fulfillment while protecting nature. This shift in perspective is key to creating a better future together.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe my channel.